So guys, I genuinely feel like this Duke basketball team right here for the 2024-2025 college basketball season for Duke specifically, this is a championship or bust season for Duke. Guys, I know it's only June of 2024. I know their first game is not until November or later this year. Trust me, I know. But we had a chance to look at them in the first scrimmage that they played in internally against each other. So much to talk about, so much to break down. Just based on what I saw, guys, this Duke team right here, this team is going to be a problem. I know Duke every year, around this time, around the summertime, they bring in all their guys to start practice early. They drop a video playing against each other. And we tend to do this every year, guys. We tend to overreact. A lot of people would say this or that. A lot of people always have a lot of things to say about these videos. But in my opinion, bro, in this video specifically, this is not going to be an overreaction. I know I have already said a huge statement at the beginning of this video talking about this is a championship or bust season for this team. But guys, trust me, this is not an overreaction. This video right here is just based on what I personally saw from the scrimmage, giving my honest projections about this team, about each player. What do I think this team's ceiling is going to be? I really want you guys to engage in the comment section down below. Do you guys really think that this Duke team has real potential to be a threat to win the title? Do you think Cooper Flagg is going to end up being the #1 pick in the draft? Guys, get honest in the comment section down below. Now, the first thing that I noticed about this Duke team right off the bat, right off the gate, and even confirming after watching the scrimmage, guys, like I said, this Duke team is going to be a problem. I genuinely do not think that this is a slouch team. I don't think this is an all talk type of team or a hype team. We're hyping up these freshmen or anything like that. I don't think so. As much as I don't want to say it, this isn't like the Kentucky team last year where they had the top freshman class coming in. They had all these hype players that we like to watch. This Duke team is just different. We're talking about a team that bring in 4 to 5 freshmen that legit have an opportunity to get drafted in the 2025 NBA draft. All these guys are very humble. They're not really those social media types of guys. They all work hard. They all have game that all complement each other well. This team also has experienced veterans on their team. And then the only 2 players that, actually play that are coming back are 2 players that is going to lead them to the promised land, in my opinion, with being Tyrese Proctor and Caleb Foster. Both of these guys definitely played well in the scrimmage. And, you can just tell that there's just a huge difference between how they were playing versus everybody else. Now, who stood out to me in this scrimmage that we had a chance to watch? I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm gonna be completely honest. It was not Cooper Flagg. We'll get more into that here in a second. But the players that did stood out to me was definitely Caleb Foster, freshman Con Newpel, Tyrese Proctor, and also Kaman Maluwa. It generally felt like every single point that was scored was either by one of these individuals. I think Caleb Foster was definitely the player that really intrigued me the most. I think he did a great job at setting the pace, setting the tone, getting to the basket, setting guys up for success. He did a great job in pick and roll situations with Kaman or whoever was his big on his team. And it just felt like he could get to the basket at any moment that he wanted to. Obviously, I know these are highlights. Obviously, I know they're not going to show the negative portions of these games, but like I said, I'm judging based on what I've seen. It just felt like Caleb was the most poised out there. I generally feel like he's going to definitely have a big year this year. He's going to be a big reason why this Duke team, is successful. I definitely think he is going to play a bigger role for this team as well. I know last year with the amount of guards that they had on that team, it was kind of harder for him to find his footing, find his role as the main point guard on the team. But I think this year, just having Caleb Foster and Tyrese Proctor as the 2 main ball dominant point guards setting up the team, I think this is definitely going to allow Caleb to find his role, play a better role, and have a bigger impact on the team this year, even more than he had last year. Obviously, like I mentioned, Con Newpel, Tyrese Proctor, Kaman Maluwa, all these other players, they definitely played well in this scrimmage as well. I think Con Newpel, like I said, I think he's going to be arguably the most underrated freshman, on this team. I know he doesn't really strike people as that flashy or He has that fun, I guess, quote unquote, fun type of play style to watch. He's fun to watch to me. I love how he carries himself. I love his pace of play. He's a lot more on the slower sides of things, but I do think that he understands how to use his size. He understands great footwork. He understands how to get to the basket if he needs to. He has a great turnaround jumper. I do think he's going to be a big three-point shooter for this Duke team with him and Darren Harris. I believe Darren Harris is actually dealing with a hand injury right now, if I'm not mistaken. But I think Con Newpel is definitely going to be one of my favorite freshmen. And I do think he's going to be, one of the fan favorites as well. You guys know how they treat players like Con Newpel. But shout out Con Newpel, man. He's definitely going to be a good player. Tyrese Proctor, very similar to Caleb Foster. I think when I'm watching this scrimmage, it just felt like Tyrese just played with a different sense of poise. He did a great job of getting to the basket, making step back threes when needed. His pick and roll game definitely is improving each year. He's a guy that I definitely thought was going to have a big year last year. He had a pretty solid year. I don't think he was necessarily like trash or anything like that. I just don't think that he took that next leap that we all imagine. But then again, it is Duke, and this is more of a team-centric type of program. So it's not really going to be just one player really standing out. So hopefully this year is definitely going to be Tyrese Proctor's year. And, I do think he can potentially get drafted in the first round in the next year's draft. Now, Kaman Maluak was the last player that I think definitely stood out to me. I think he's going to be a big presence for this Duke front court. Every player that he was playing in the pick and roll, in the scrimmage, Kaman definitely complimented each of these guys fairly well. He did a great job of understanding when to give it back to the guard, or when to go towards the rim to catch a lob or a dump off or get an offensive rebound. I think Kaman definitely brings a lot of excitement on that side of the floor. I definitely think that Kaman Maluak is going to be another fan favorite type of player, but definitely a guy that I think is going to have a great freshman year. Now, who are some players that just did not impress me in this scrimmage? Guys, I know I may get some hate for this, but I just feel like Cooper Flagg and Isaiah Evans are two guys that just did not impress me. It's kind of funny because these are two players that were ranked the highest within their freshman guys that they bring in. But, I got to be honest here. I don't think Cooper Flagg necessarily excited me, but he didn't necessarily redirect my expectations of him as a player. I never really saw Cooper Flagg as a super dominant type of player. He's more of just a complimentable type of player. I'm probably going to drop a more in-depth video about this and my expectations about him. I do think that he is going to disappoint a lot of people and not really live up to the expectations, not necessarily because he's not good as a player. I think it's more on the fact that the program that he's going to and the capabilities that he's going to be allowed to showcase. Like I said, Duke is not a team that is really solely on one player. This is more of a team-centric type of program. So it's going to be a little bit hard for him to just get the ball, do what he needs to do. I do think Cooper Flagg definitely excels as a great role player and, attacking the rim and getting putbacks and running the floor, playing great defense, things like that. I don't think he's a guy that you just give the ball to and just say, go get me a bucket. That's just based on what I personally seen. And if you look at the numbers at Montverde, it definitely tells that same story as well. But like I said, I'll probably drop a more in-depth video about Cooper Flagg in another video. Same thing with Isaiah Evans. From what I saw, it looks like he only had 2 baskets in this scrimmage. And each of these shots weren't the best high percentage shots. One of them was an inside, damn near 3, but he had his foot on the line or something like that. Another one was a fadeaway shot from the corner. Like I said, I think he's a guy that's definitely, we're going to have to give some time as to see what he's going to do this season, as far as if he's going to complement the other guys, if he's going to be able to find his footing and find his role on this team. So I'm definitely a believer. I like Isaiah Evans. I love what he brings to the table. I love what he can be as a player. I still think no matter what, he's still going to get drafted pretty high in this up and coming draft, but that's just me. I like Isaiah Evans, but I do want to see how he's going to fit in with this team. Everybody else that we saw in the scrimmage, they played fairly well. Pat the second, Sion James, Brown, they all did a great job on the defensive side of the ball, getting deflections and whatnot. Like I said, man, this team has a very, very high ceiling. In my opinion, I do think this is a championship or bust type of scenario for this Duke team. Like I said, I know Cooper Flagg is going to have a lot of expectations, but at the end of the day, overall teams and overall units win national titles. Not one player, not players. Teams win national championships. And I do think that Duke, from top to bottom, with the freshmen, with the experienced players, with the leadership, with the coach, they have everything that they need to win a title. So I think it's definitely championship or bust. What do you guys think down below, though? Do you guys think it's championship or bust for this team? Do you think this team has what it takes to win a title? Guys, get honest in the comment section down below. I appreciate all the support. Let me know other video ideas that you guys want to see. And I appreciate all the support, man. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.